Hey besties, it's Rosie. So I was just pulling some cards for myself, and I wanted to share with you the message that Spirit gave me because I think that it will be beneficial to some who are watching. When you have reached the climax of your journey, when you have worked through all of your karma in this lifetime, and if you are aligning with this message, that very likely describes you in the place that you are in the world. Once you've finally done that and you have so much of your life left to just spend on whatever you want, Spirit will then use you to teach other people their lessons. And I myself have gotten very frustrated at this when I see this happening. I've actually thrown several tantrums with my guides and told them to stop using me as a way to test people, as like a training ground for people. And I feel like when I act like that, they kind of nod and smile and they're like, okay, honey, that's nice. Because I'm missing a fundamental, integral part of the experience here, which is how they showed this to me is like an infinity loop, like an 8, okay? When you're going this way on the loop, you're the one learning the lessons and other people will come in to teach them to you. And then when you finally cross back over, when you're coming back this way, you'll be used to teach people their lessons, and it goes on and on and on. I don't know if you're familiar with like AA or NA, any of those systems. Like you go through the system and then at the end you become the sponsor and you give back and the system is complete. It creates the loop. That's what it's like, a self-contained system. I'm seeing in my head like those little terrariums, you put them in like a big jar and you put a cork on it and you just let it go. It just goes to town. It's a little self-contained ecosystem. That's what the spiritual journey is too. And if you're getting frustrated that you are being used to teach other people their lessons, imagine if that's how everybody felt and nobody signed on to help you learn yours. You would never be standing where you are today if it weren't for those people who signed on to help you learn hard lessons. And the spiritual truth is this: it's easy to demonize these people and have like harsh feelings around them. And bestie, that's valid because your human self went through something very unpleasant and somebody else had to administer that lesson to you and it likely sucked. But what you need to understand is that the spiritual truth of this is that the majority of the people that we interact with in this incarnation, because it's a special one, are people that we have incarnated with over and over and over and over in different forms. And this person was not always your op. Maybe you have a lot of lifetimes where they are, but again, your soul came here to learn very specific lessons, and somebody had to teach them to you. Somebody had to be the villain. And the soul's truth is that you guys love each other, okay? Down here on Earth, you might be sworn enemies because of, the roles that you were cast into in this lifetime. But the fine print is that you're going to be someone else's sworn enemy, and all you did was sign on to help them learn a hard lesson that they've been struggling with. So try to remember that this is a closed loop, and that in order to help other people close their loop or break it, depending on how you look at it, sometimes you have to be the villain. Sometimes you have to be the teacher. Sometimes you have to be the testing ground, the training ground. You have to be the fork in the road. And it might be really annoying because now that you've mastered your lessons, now that you've worked through your karma, you're probably ready to just like create some stability, create something that doesn't feel like a constant lesson. And you can do that, bestie, but Spirit will still use you to further their agenda, which is taking everyone here on Earth and getting them to the place where you now find yourself. All right, everybody needs to get here. And in order for that to happen, we're all going to have to pitch in as a community and help each other out. And sometimes that looks like being used to further another person's spiritual development. And it might not really appear on the surface like it's doing a whole lot for yours. But bestie, every good teacher knows that through any interaction with a student, you will also be learning and gleaning as much as they are. And if you don't think that you are, you have lost the plot. Spirit, do you have any closing remarks about anything I just said to the collective? Anything you would like to add to that? I'm I'm hearing that closing time song in my head. The part where they say, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. And I think it's important to remember that, bestie, that as long as we are living on a cyclical planet, we're not immune to the cycles. And you don't always have to be happy about it. But I, for one, am glad you're participating.